Let's look at project one for statistics. So here is the instructions. So what you're going to do is you're going to look through magazines, newspapers online, probably mostly online, for some kind of example of a misleading graph. So look back on chapter two um, to know what a misleading graph would look like. And you are going to cut it out or take a screenshot and answer the following questions. So where did you find it? What is the source of data? So um, I guess one and two are kind of the same thing. Where did you find it? And then what's the source of the data? Include the website address if you found it online. What is the data in the graph describing? What's the population being studied? So if there's a graph, you might have to read what the graph is over. So it's probably an article that has the graph in it. Read through the article, see what is it describing. What is the population being studied? How was the sample data collected? So hopefully it tells you how it was collected. And then is the sample representative of the population? So how did they collect it? Did they collect it by doing a random survey or through a census or through a convenience sample? See if you can gather that information. What level of measurement? So you'll have to look back at chapter one notes to determine what kind of measurement of data is being used. And then explain why is it misleading. Then you'll redraw the graph so it accurately depicts the data. If you'd like to use technology, you can, and that'll actually give you some bonus points. You can use Google Slides to create your presentation for this. You're not actually going to present it. You're just going to download it as a PDF and then upload it to Blackboard to turn it in. That way you have a page for every piece of information, like your 1 through 8 questions.
Would you prefer us to do the online version or the paper
version? You could do either one. If you find a newspaper or magazine, you can take a picture of it and then insert it in on Google Photos. Or not Google Photos, your Google Slides. And then turn it in on Blackboard. Here is the rubric for you, so you can determine how you're going to come up with your grade. I forgot to change that, but it is fall. And just read through that, how you're going to get your points. And you can get 10 extra points for using technology to redo your graph. Make sure you answer all the questions. Here is an example of someone's from last semester. So they found this graph online. It's population of Winnipeg by year. So you would look and see what is wrong with this. It doesn't have a zero axis. It starts at 685,000. So it makes it look like it increased quite a bit.
But they're like all really tall.
But if you redraw it like she did, it's pretty close to the same. And she used technology to redraw it too. So you're not allowed to use this graph. You're going to have to find a different one. So she answered the questions. Where did you find it? What is the source? So she gave me the link of where she found it, but also where it was used on a website. So it's actually the source of where it came from. This is where someone talked about how it was a misleading graph, but this is the actual source. And then what is it describing? Population being studied, sample data collected, how was it collected? Is it representative? And then why, there's your level of measurement. And then why it's misleading.
Is that the bare minimum? Is that?
Yeah, this is what was asked of you on the rubric and of the course or the project requirements. And then at the end, she redrew it using technology. And then the works cited. So this is where it actually came from, where the information came from. So that is what you're asked to do on this. If you create on Google Slides, you can click download as PDF and then upload it to here where it's listed on projects. And notice it's due September 19th by midnight. And that should be all. If you have any questions, just email me.